All right, we are here in the home of future five-star, probably one of the top couple prospects in the country for the 2022 class, Keithian Alexander,
Yes, sir.
also known as the Big Bear. I guess we got to start out talking about the nickname and where that came from.
It actually came from my father. He big boy, so I'm really little boy, but it ended up being big boy because I'm so huge.
I was gonna say I've seen your father, and you definitely the Big Bear.
Yes, sir.
All right, you just made a kind of a tour of the Southeast and visited, gosh, three of the top programs in the country. You went by Clemson, you went by Georgia, you went by Alabama. Gonna get you to talk a little bit about all three schools. First off, what did you think when you went out and visited Clemson?
When I visited Clemson, I was able to work out, of course, and be coached under the best. Like Ty Bates was able to be a mentor. He was able to speak with me afterly, briefly. So it's like being there at Clemson, knowing they produce the best of the best. And like in my position, like it was just eye opening and amazing. I had an amazing time.
What was it like seeing Clemson with Christian Wilkins and Dexter Lawrence both going so high in the draft? They obviously told you you could be the next part of that.
Yes, sir. I just automatically knew like they would produce them guys. I'm next. It's just like it's a no-brainer.
All right, then you went by Georgia. Obviously, Georgia's another top program, really come on strong the last couple of years. How'd you enjoy the visit to Georgia?
I love Georgia. I got to talk to Coach Trey Scott. He was able to work out with me. We was able to get through the day and build a relationship.
All right, then you went to Alabama. You told me a little bit earlier you hadn't communicated a lot with them, and obviously they kind of fell in love with you when you stopped by that visit. Talk to us about the visit to Alabama.
I love their facilities too. It's like Alabama and Clemson are rivalries. So when I was able to talk to Brian Baker, it was just more about let's see how you can build us as a program and compete with the others.
You're going to be obviously one of the top programs or top prospects in the nation. Are you ready for all the attention and all the hype you're going to get? And who are some of the folks like your dad that are going to help you through this process?
Of course, my coach Tony Jones, like off the rip, like before any of this blew off, we automatically knew like this was gonna happen. So of course, every day we mentally prep for it, we physically prep for it, like we just ready for it to come our way.
All right. Is there a particular school you grew up rooting for before the recruiting process started?
University of Texas.
Okay. I was going to say, obviously, there's some big time programs out here in Texas. Everything's big out here, and we've been out here 3 times now in the last year. Talk to us a little bit about the in-state schools and what they're doing on the recruiting front with you.
In-state schools like TCU up the road, they was able to get after me last minute, but you got to think of Texas A&M, the only SEC in Texas, so they after me. They recruit me pretty hard. UT recruits me hard.
What about the process? Do you want to shorten the process and make a decision going into your senior year? Do you want to play it out and take all your official visits and make a decision late in the process?
I think I want to play it out and make a decision late.
All right. What are you going to be looking for when you try to start narrowing the schools down? Obviously, you're going to have everybody in the top program in the country coming after you. At some point, you'll narrow it down a little bit, and then obviously you'll make that final selection. What's going to be important to you and your family when you start trying to narrow things down?
The best education, who provides the best mentor, who able to look after me like once I'm away from home and they go back home, like able to guide and lead me, make sure I be the best male version I can be.
All right, you got a lot of top programs that we talked about in the Southeast recruiting you, and then you got obviously these powerhouses in Texas. Do the Texas schools have an advantage because they're closer to home, or do you not care about the distance?
I don't care about the distance.
All right. Who's some of the players you'd like to model yourself after? Some of the guys in college or some of the guys in the NFL?
It's so many, I don't even know.
All right. Talk about your skill set a little bit. What do you fans that haven't seen you? Obviously, we saw you a little bit in camp, and fans that haven't seen you. What are your strengths there as a defensive tackle?
As D tackle, like it literally came out Dabo Swinney mouth and Coach Ty Bates. Like I had the quickest get off as a freshman. Like even the head coach at Georgia was like, "We never seen a big guy move as well as you can move." So it's like I have an advantage over everyone.
All right. What's your current height and weight?
6'4", 333 pounds.
All right. That's obviously huge for a rising sophomore. how long did you have a growth spurt at some point where you really shot up, or have you always been, kind of above everybody else?
I always been a big guy, like bigger than everyone around me in the school.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the family and Texas, and talk about the support system you have here that's going to help you through the process.
I have a small support system. Me, my coach, and my brother Cornish Burns, the Ole Miss commit. So it's like I'm able to watch him go along the process and kind of pick up on it and be able to maneuver.
All right. The school that lands you here in a couple years, obviously they're going to get one of the best football players in the country. What are they going to get off the field? What's the Big Bear like off the field?
Off the field, I'm able to talk to my guys and like they want what I want. So it's like I'm able to show them the process, show them how I move accordingly, and just show them like you work as hard as me, you get what I can get, and you're able to talk to the best of the best.
All right, last question for you. Obviously, you went to some of these camps at some of the top programs. Anything the coaches told you to work on? You obviously got a couple more years in high school. Anything you want to work on the next couple years?
Of course, what you just said off the field, like everyone knows, I'm going to be the best. I'm going to be the biggest. I'm going to be able to help them win a national championship. But like, what does he does off the field? That's mostly.
All right, there you go. Hopefully, you guys learn a lot about this top prospect coming up, and obviously we're out here in Texas, so we got to come see everything's big in Texas. We had to come see the biggest future star out here in Texas, and we'd like to thank you very much for letting us come into home and get to know you a little bit better today.
Yes, sir. All right, thank you.